What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. There's been a lot of course correction lately in the pop culture sphere, if you want to call it that. And Warhammer is ripe for some. Obviously, Henry Cavill got his Amazon Prime show. At least it looks like. I've yet to see the actual official confirmation of that. But Henry has come out and said, hey, we're doing it. It's going to happen. And one of the big issues that brought Warhammer to a lot of our attentions, those of us that weren't into it beforehand, and thankfully Space Marine and other things have come out, was that Warhammer show. And one of the first things we heard about that when they were getting ready to do it was that Amazon really wanted female Space Marines. And then once you look into the lore, you'll find out that, well, that's just not possible. The gene seed process that Space Marines go through just doesn't work on anything other than biological men. And the same was more or less said, not because of the process, but just in the lore for the Custodes, the Adeptus Custodes, those who guard the Emperor. They were all men. They were all from the children, the sons of men on Earth. And it wasn't until suddenly that we just got an announcement in a lore book that, oh yeah, they're female, and that ensued a whole controversy that we'll talk about. And recently we saw this article where a lore author who had left Games Workshop in 2008, and now they are returning. So people thought, oh, good. This will signify change. And so this article came back. We saw people that had gotten the books. Oh, look at that. That's one of the female Custodes female Custodes that they added, people that had gotten the books, and they were looking at the writing in there and the terminology. They, of course, when talking about the Custodes, you can see here it says, as a legion of exceptional individuals. So it does go to individuals. The Adeptus Custodes are less regimented than other Imperial forces, with promotion based entirely on merit. The captain general leads, aided by a group of 10 tribunes. Below the tribunate, commanders of individual forces are known as shield captains. Armies or shield hosts are formed from across all 5 orders. And here's the rub, because he's pointing to it. Dozens of other sub-organizations, brotherhoods, and groupings run through the order. And you can see here, and the other one is when they're talking about it, as custodians accumulate victories, they are awarded a name to commemorate each one, though they are kept secret from these outside the Legion. And in public, a custodian will continue to use the name granted to him upon his investiture. So the point is they've used 2 male terminologies for this, and so everyone was taking it as like, oh yes, it's a victory. They've undone it now, and we're back to having Custodes only be men. And unfortunately, that is not the case. We've got the actual writer of that, and that was Gav Thorpe, who has returned, and he sets the record straight that no, indeed, it is not a return to form. There are still female Custodes. You can see here on Blue Sky, because where else would you have it? Someone asked, just confirming, because of all the ruckus with the DK book, female Custodes are still a part of Warhammer, correct? He says, yes, of course they are. Not every miniature is included. And by the way, the big rub when they announced the Custodes, but that there were no female Custodian miniatures, and it was again used as evidence that the only reason that that was added into the lore was so that when Games Workshop or Amazon wanted female Space Marines, in this case Amazon, they could point to an option and say, well, look, right there's your justification for females in a type of space armor, because they were never going to get actual Space Marines. And it was thought that the female Custodes was what was just agreed upon. Female Custodes are still a part of it. So yes, not every miniature is included, and I don't recall exactly, but we may have already finished that section when the series miniatures went public. DK didn't have access to pre-release pics. But what that basically is saying is we wrote that before they announced that there were female Custodes. But when they announced that there were female Custodes with this entrance here that is very clearly a female, and everyone, wait, what the fuck? They're all men. What are you talking about? This was the other entries. They're all men. That's when they started the gaslighting, and, of the 10s of the first created, it was always female Custodes. And that's the one that really this one right here. Since the first of the 10,000 were created, there have always been custodians, and that's when everyone everyone started going around the fuck. There have been and posting their, Grums here posting their 7th and 8th editions, very clearly shown that they, is shown here, it is known that all the custodians begin their lives as the infant sons of the noble houses of Terra. So this has all been retconned, newborn sons, etc., etc., etc. And so, yeah, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. We now just wait and see for official confirmation that the Warhammer TV show is going forward, because, I mean, Henry also announced that he was Superman once upon a time on Instagram. So the announcement that everything's working out on Instagram yet again does not fill me with confidence. He's probably going to get screwed over again, but we'll see. We'll see. I really hope that doesn't happen, because the more I learn about Warhammer, the more I would love it to not be corrupted. Just give me that grim, dark, all they know is war future. But we'll see. Either way, you let me know what you think about all this. Be sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.